welcome to PHP tutorial number 5. In tutorial 4 we looked at basic mathematical functions in PHP. We looked at rounding, square root, modulus. We looked at the string length function, floor function and the cell function. The lesson before that we looked at the different PHP data types. This was tutorial 3. And the data types we looked at were string, integer, boolean, array, float, object, null and resource. In this tutorial we're going to look at the various control structures, the various loops that are in PHP. So I'll select a new page if it's going to let me. Yep. And we'll put in PHP tags. And we'll get started. So let's make sure WAMP server started. Doesn't appear to be, so just double check that. Start all services. And let's get going. So the first loop that I'll teach you is the if loop. So if we just save this file, and we'll save this as a PHP file, and we'll just call it loops.php. So the first loop is an if loop. So an if loop is very straightforward. If we have a variable, say we have a variable called x, and we say x equals 10, and we have a variable called y, and we say y equals 5, and let's not forget our semicolon there. And we'll comment here to say this is going to be if loops that we're talking about. So an if loop starts with the keyword if, and then there's parentheses, and then there's a curly bracket to signify the start of the if loop, and a curly bracket to signify the end of the if loop. So what goes in the parentheses is our condition. Now, what happens is, if the condition I put in these parentheses evaluates to true, then the code between these two curly braces is executed. So let's put in the condition that the variable x is greater than the variable y. Now this condition of x being greater than y will evaluate to true, obviously, because x is 10 and y is 5, so 10 is greater than 5. So if that's the case, then we can say echo x greater than y, and we can finish this up and put an else on here and say that if basically the condition, what this else means is the code between the else braces gets executed if what's in the if parentheses gets evaluated to false. And in that circumstance we'll say that x is not greater than y. So it's a little test. So let's save that and see how we get on. So we'll go to localhost /loops.php. Yep, so 10 greater than 5. So it recognises that, and if we switch this round, if we make 5 x5 and y10, then obviously in that circumstance it should print out x is not greater than y. Yeah, well, 5 is not greater than 10, which is true. So it's working. There are basic things we can add to it. We could put in the condition or here, which says or is double barrels, so double line symbol. So what this would be is if x is greater than y, or we could say if x is equal to 10. Just quickly having a look at the timer. So, we could say if x is equal to 5. So that should still evaluate to true, because this part of the condition, x being greater than y, would fail. But this part of the condition, x being equal to 5, would evaluate to true because x is equal to 5. So the whole thing basically or means if the left hand condition evaluates to true, or if the right hand condition evaluates to true, then the whole thing evaluates to true. So that would still work. So let's reload that. Yeah, and you can see it's still accepted it, even though that's not the case, even though in this circumstance x is not greater than y. But if we wanted this to evaluate to false, we could change this to the double ampersand and, because and requires the left hand condition to be true and the right hand condition to be true. So let's load that. Yeah, so you can see that it now evaluates to false. So we could, yeah, so that's basically if and else. Another thing that we could look at is a basic while loop. So while loop is basically just the keyword while, and we could say that the condition in the parentheses is while y is less than 11, and we could say that y equals 0, and we could see how many times this is going to repeat. So we could say y plus plus, and then we could echo y and append a line break to it. And then let's run this while loop. Oops, syntax error. Line 5. Yeah, but I didn't put the semicolon. Yeah, so it goes through all the values. So we could change that to less than 10. It should go through the values 1 to 10. Yep, 1 to 10. So that's a while loop repeating 10 times. But if we could add another condition to that, we could say the condition is while y is less than 10, or while x is less than 5. And then we could start x off at 0, and then here we could do x plus plus. Now this loop should still run 10 times. You would think with the condition x less than 5 it will only run 5 times, because it will only go through 5 iterations until x is not less than 5 anymore, but that's not the case, because or means either the left hand condition y less than 10 is true, or the right hand condition x less than 5 is true. So this should still run 10 times. So let's just double check that. Yeah, it still runs 10 times, but if I change this to a double ampersand, then double ampersand and means that the left hand condition and the right hand condition both have to be true, so this should now only run 5 times. So let's just double check. Yep, 5 times. So that's basically as discussed if and while, and we'll stop this video here and we'll come back to tutorial 5. So this video was tutorial 5, PHP tutorial 5 part 1, and the next video will be PHP tutorial 5 part 2. Okay, thank you.